I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight asking for guidance, that you will be with us through all the night. Help us get through this to the best of our ability. We ask in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. We call this meeting to order. First thing we're going to do is do the consent agenda. We have two to do. We have a regular commission meeting on 4/4/17, then we have a special commission meeting on 4/11. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Thurman. Second by Commissioner White. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. This time, we're gonna let Mr. John Grantland come up and do his part tonight first. Mayor, come on, John.
Yeah, the item I had on here was, utility permits, last meeting, we're going to draft a utility permit, we're going to blanket, permit for right of way use. I think you should have a copy of that in your packets. Really, if there's any questions,
John, I had not questions, I like what's there. What page am I just rolling?
44.
44, okay. Yeah, I like what's there, but I think to make it work, we have to, we need to put some teeth in it, and I think we will have to possibly pass an ordinance or a resolution I like everything that's here, but if they don't get one of these permits, there should be consequences. And so, I'd like to see Jim, come up with some kind of a resolution that would be a penalty, and along with that penalty, possibly, add to it expenses incurred by the city for them not getting a permit. We have to go out there, you have to station a guy there. We lose a guy all day or 2 days because somebody didn't get a permit. They should have to pick up that.
and I agree, that was part of it that had to come back to the board for discussion to see exactly how you wanted to manage that side.
Yeah.
How are we gonna advertise it so everybody knows that they now have to get a permit? They didn't have to get one before, I guess.
Just one way we discussed before was trying to get it out to everybody that we do business with now. So we do have a list of the folks that traditionally get one. We could do that and also put it on the city website or however you want to do it.
I'd really like to see it up. Let's do all we could to educate them.
Seems like we still got a little bit of work to do to come up with a resolution on the fees. Do we have a kind of a ballpark idea as to what y'all want to charge or penalties or anything to kind of lead us in that direction?
Well, my thought is we need to find out exactly what kind of cost it's gonna, I mean, we're not trying to make money on this. I don't like the whole policy period. Just whatever it takes to cover the cost that the city incurs.
I think a $50 permit fee or something like that, and then, penalty, I don't know where to put that. I know we need to put the expenses incurred by the city, but I don't know. I'm hoping for ideas. We spent a lot of time and money on Monument Avenue recently, and that's what brought it to my attention. So, $50 a day, I don't know. Anybody have any idea?
I mean, I'm open to suggestions myself. I mean, let's educate them and, maybe do a soft opening on it on the first 6 months or so, but after that, I agree with you.
That's probably a good idea. We check with other cities, see what they charge for something like this.
And I'm okay with everything. Let's let them know, and then if we're not getting any, if they're not doing this, but we need to.
I think the big thing is we want to know they're doing work, and the other caveat where the money really comes in if they get out there and hit some of our utilities. That's when the cost really
Yeah.
And that's
escalates.
where I feel like that, we need to do that, but then we also need to, have a fee for just an automatic. You didn't do it.
You get a permit.
A permit,
All right, we'll come up with some suggestions for you.
Yeah, that's all I had.
Anybody have anything else?
trying to go watch what's going on.
Yeah, that's where you go. All right, man. Hang on. On the PSJRs, Mr. Brazil, you gonna
Yeah,
lead off on
sure,
that?
sure. We got a grant for the lighthouse grounds, keeper's quarters, lighthouse, that type of thing, tune of $125,000. We went out to bid for that package, this one package. We came back, the bid came back at 2 and 3 times more than the grant was for. So, our director, Mr. Kennedy, decided to go out to each individual entity that was gonna take part in the renovation, which would be the AC, the electrical, the exterior of the Eglin building. And we've got individual bids for those items. He would act as a general contractor. The whole thing hinges on will the state let us do it that way. If they won't, there's not much we can do with the grant. It's just the bids are too high. It's a package, and most of it was painting in the lighthouse. That was a big ticket item. So what is here in front of you is the air conditioner. You got 2 guys that bid on that. You only had 1 electrical bid, and you had 1 bid on the exterior and building the handicap ramp for both of them. So they're on page 6, and the contract information is on the following pages and the bids. So if we need to decide if we want to award this and send it on to the state and see if the state will let us do it this way.
Is that the way we need to do it, Rex, or do we need to find out if the state will allow us to go out individually? Because, I'm all for it, let's go ahead and award an individual. I talked to Bill today, and I know we got some plumbing and some other issues, that may need to be done, but, we gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, I think we need to go ahead and do it and tell them that's what we've done, and then if they okay it, we can hit the ground running versus say,
Waiting and just finding out.
yeah, I think so.
Well, I make a motion that we move forward and approve the bids, the low bids that we have today.
Okay, I'll go ahead and,
I have a motion by Commissioner Third, you have a second.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Brazil.
Okay, the air conditioner bid, the low bid is Philco, $27,850. Electrical is Current Solutions, $12,800. The exterior handicap ramp of Eglin, which basically is gonna make it just look just like Sleeping Beauty when it's all over, is Combs Construction, $39,200.
All right, any further discussion?
I got a question. As far as that base bid goes, you got a base bid and you got a total. You mentioned something about the painting of the lighthouse. What part of that was?
It was, if I remember correctly, it was about $200,000 was the painting of the lighthouse.
So we're gonna bid that later, or what do you?
I think we're gonna spend all the contract, all the grant on these 3 items, and then we're gonna have to find money to paint. It's not really that bad, but yes, that's the plan.
I went the other day and I looked at the lighthouse, and yes, it does need to be painted, but it's also a historic lighthouse. It's not supposed to look brand new and shiny, so we do need to get it painted, but I think right now, let's get the Eglin house done and then start looking for some ways to paint that lighthouse.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Who's gonna bring up this next one?
I can do it if you like, Mayor.
All
The planning board had met last week. If you'll turn over to page 10. The planning board has met in reference to issuing a building permit for 170 Avenue E. After review, it was approved by the planning board for recommendation for approval to you on that, Mayor. Talked to Mr. Bo Creel, he's went through it, that it meets everything on the LDR and with that new ordinance in reference to the architectural design. Staff recommendations to approve the building permit.
Motion to approve. I'll second that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Ashbrook, second by Commissioner Thursby. Discussion.
I had some discussion, I spoke to Jim earlier about this, I really don't think this should have been brought before the planning board myself. I think staff should have handled it. I don't believe we should be even voting on it right now. I believe it throws up some type of a possible legal flag. If it meets our regulations right now, I think it should go through and staff should go ahead and approve. So I'd ask the board not to even vote on it.
I feel a little bit the same way, you know, if it meets all the codes, and even though the planning board has already approved it, then why should we have to approve it again? Just let staff go ahead and make decisions on those type of deals. I don't think the board needs to.
Yeah, that's good. I just think, after that last debacle we had, everybody a little gun shy.
Yeah.
And we'll make sure we dot all the i's and cross all our t's, and not get in a pickle like we did before, and that's the only reason I think it brought to us.
I completely understand, I just don't want to do anything that we wouldn't do, you know, again, for some other applicant or down the road, so.
And I agree 100% across the board with both sides of it. I don't think, but I do know why it was because of the last situation.
And I do understand that.
And, you know, so however you guys want to handle it, I'm good with it.
Well,
These are good people and I want to help them out.
Jim, you told me earlier that we, as a board, voted to be notified.
Yes,
Is
Mr.
that
Creel was
something
there.
that needs to be rescinded? Was it?
That'll be perfect. If you just direct staff to handle, all building permits from now on, we'll take care of it.
I withdraw my motion.
Call your second. Okay. All right.
Take care of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's the best decision, thank you both.
Thank y'all.
All right, Mr. City Attorney.
Yeah, I have two items on the agenda, Mayor. The first one is regards to a resolution that Commissioner Ashbrook asked me to draft with regards to two bills going through the Florida legislature right now. It's going to restrict local home rule regarding businesses and zoning. If I can just find the page.
25 and 26 on agenda packet.
Yeah, the first resolution is Resolution 21704, a resolution of the City Commission of the Port St. Joe, Florida, urging all members of the Florida Legislature to oppose House Bill 17 and Senate Bill 1158, which preempts local business regulations, prohibits local government from imposing or adopting any new regulations on businesses unless expressly authorized by the legislature. Directing the city manager to transmit a certified copy of this resolution to the Florida League of Cities, the Gulf County Legislative Delegation, the bill sponsors, and any other interested parties, and providing for an effective date.
All right. We need a motion on this. Approve this.
Yes, make it.
Motion.
Have a motion by Commissioner Bezet,
Second.
and second by Commissioner Ashbrook. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the next item is a resolution that I was asked to draft by Commissioner Thursby with regards to fishing regulations. Resolution number 21705, a resolution of the City Commission of Port St. Joe, Florida, supporting the Magnuson-Stevens Act that includes increased flexibility, usage of recent and relevant data, evaluation of economic and social needs of a community and a stakeholder referenda, providing authorization to staff, and providing an effective date.
Make a motion.
Motion by
Second.
motion by Commissioner Thursby, second by Commissioner Lowry. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
That's all I have tonight.
Thank you, Mr.
Yes, sir. The first one we have is the Commerce Park lot utilities. Staff is working on those now. We're probably gonna have an extension on it again. We're planning, the extension closes on Friday. talked to Mr. Grantland today. We are planning to try to get everything we can done this week, but we'll still have to disinfect the lines or transfer over the water. So we're probably looking at about 10 days out, but it is in process.
And that's just due to the, like you said, decontamination of line, it's a process, it takes a few days.
We had to have a board, we had to get everything together. The next item we have is in reference to the CDBG grant update. We got Mr. Bruce Bowster here tonight to give us an update on it.
Evening, Commissioners. The grant is back on track. It's, we had a fairly lengthy review to our environmental review. We knew that the CDBG department had hired a new reviewer, but we haven't had a new application before them since he was hired a couple years ago. Didn't know what to expect, so we started off with a meeting with him beginning of the year and showed him the previous application, found good, and gave us some advice we followed, and subsequently got a 4-page review letter. I've given you a copy of the letter that's gone back from him. What you see in brown are his questions, and what you see in black is our comments, and there were, well, Ms. Charles has a copy of his responses about each thing. So yes, the standard of review is much higher, and it took a while to fulfill all those additional searches. The next thing that will happen is we should expect, pending any questions on this, a notification of release of funds. I checked a few weeks ago, and the CDBG department will not allow us to go to bid. I was thinking maybe we could jump the gun, at least have a contract secured, go through the process, but we can't do any of that, can't even advertise until we have that notification of release of funds. We should have that ad ready to go. And that's the thing that can be ready to put in the paper. Do that the following week.
Is that something that you will do, or Ms. Charlotte will do?
Usually
or
the
what?
engineer prepares that because he's got the specs and he'll have to have at that time updated. You've probably got the specs ready. There is once you get that information, you request the new CDBG boilerplate section that has to go in the plan specs. So that will
Can we just be sure, Bruce, that no matter who has to call, be sure that it's done, it's done. I don't care who the responsibility is, I just don't wanna go back through another nightmare. I mean, I'll do it if you tell me to do it.
It would be between myself and Rebel Ridge.
And that's fine, just let's work together on that.
One of the things coming up is if that notification comes in this quarter, which I expect we'll have to have another fair housing activity, and I would like to start that off with a presentation to the board. We do that at least about once a year. So we may expect that we'll ask you guys for a workshop to start 20 minutes ahead of a regular meeting, or if you want to do it within a regular meeting, we can do that. But at some point, we'll have to have a fair housing workshop with elected officials. And I'll have to try to figure out something else to do every quarter. If you have any other questions on the grant, happy to let you know.
Do you have a time that you're looking at? I mean, not an exact time, but
Well, I do know that
ballpark.
there's a new director at the CDBG. She's been with DEF for quite a long time. The interim director they had was kind of afraid to make a decision. Every letter that had to be signed had to go to legal to see if it was okay for her to sign it. The new person is tried and true. She's been with the department for a long time, and I think she'll be able to get mail out faster. So, like Patrick Hart said, the letters are ready to go, just pending everything else being dotted and crossed. So, it should speed up a lot than has been happening with that department for the last 2 years.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce.
Appreciate it.
The next item we have on tonight is the escrow deposit. The initial buyer on the Commerce Park lot, we had an escrow of $500 been sitting there. Recommendation is to give the $500 back to the initial potential buyer.
Is the initial potential buyer out of the picture now, or is he still willing to, if we can get this cleared up, or I haven't?
Well, you have a new contract with the new buyer.
Okay, so it's not the same.
No, sir, it's completely different.
Okay.
So
Our
we can
motion-
we can take it or give it back.
No,
This
Ms.
goes
Burke is
back to
asking-
Ms. Frankie Williams, correct? Since he was first here, I make a motion to just give it back.
Motion from Commissioner Brazil, second by Commissioner Ashby. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
The next item is reference to one of the agreements with the St. Joe Company. This one goes back to Windmark Beach. As part of that agreement that's in there, starting on page 31, is that all new connections beyond Windmark Beach, the city was on the hook for at least 50% of those. This has been worked on for years. The initial agreement started in 2008. You've got roughly a little over a year left on this agreement over there. After working with the St. Joe Company and staff, if you'll flip over to page 39, this gives the detail of all the new connections beyond Windmark Beach all the way through 8/22/2016. That was the date. That date is the date that we were working with St. Joe Company about trying to move forward on. We also, if you look over on page 40, we found old taps that were not paid from years ago. So they did give us credit for that. They are requesting for us to cut a check to them for $94,352. That money has been escrowed, so it's in a segregated account, so staff recommendation, those numbers are correct on those for payment.
And the money is escrowed at this time.
Jim, so these are vacant lots that were refunded.
These are ones that people have come back and asked for. No, these are ones beyond that are in St. Joe Beach, people that have come in and tied in the sewer.
Okay.
So every one of those that come in and paid us for impact fees, by that agreement, we had to give half of that money back to the St. Joe Company as part of that initial agreement.
This only goes on for one more year.
We will read this thing is, this one sunset in May of 2018. So we would have from this date, 8 of 2016 through 2018, May of 2018.
Jim, at this time, once we do this, are we at an even keel, or is there still more that we're gonna owe, they could owe us, or?
We've got from
Other
May,
than within the next year?
yes, sir, between 8 of 2016, so we've already collected some, and all the way through May of 2018, depending on what the market provides for all those past Windmark Beach, yes, sir, we're on the hook.
Well, I want to commend staff for realizing what we had coming, and we knew it was coming, escrowed the money. It's not like we did a lot of work to not pay them what they initially billed us for, so, I mean, it's something we have to do.
Right at 30 grand.
That's correct, you found 30 grand that we're not gonna have to pay them, so that's great. I'll make the motion, we send them a check.
Have a motion from Commissioner Brazil, we have a second.
Second.
Second from Commissioner Ashby. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Carries 5-0.
The last item I had on there tonight, Mayor, was in reference to the FERDAC committee membership. Ms. Pierce had actually contacted all the previous members that we had on there. To my understanding, I think all of them are committed except for Commissioner Quinn had asked to be recused since he is a county commissioner, come off of there. And you've got a sheet in here tonight where you have a couple more volunteers that would like to be put on that.
What page is that on?
Let's see, that is under page 41 to 43.
And these volunteers are both from Department of Health.
I believe so, I believe both of them work at the health department.
I think they're interested, let's put them on.
Yeah.
Need a motion?
Motion to add both.
Motion by Commissioner Ashby, I had these two
I'll second
forever.
that.
And a second by Commissioner Kirk. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, we have two more.
That's all I have, Mayor.
That's all you got?
Yes, sir.
All right, we've already done Holy Word, Larry.
Mr. Mayor, only thing I have for the record, we had a clean out and inspection done on our 2 million gallon tank at the plant. This is something we have to do every 5 years, but it's a DEP requirement. And And, the people come in, Liquid Engineering company come in to do the inspection, and they inspect and say that our tank is in overall good condition.
Good, good, appreciate it, good job on the maintenance, you know, keep it that way. So, I mean, I know it just doesn't happen like that, so I appreciate it.
I think the quality of the water's gotten better, and that's why it's in good shape.
But we hope so.
Yeah. Thank you, Larry.
That's all.
Any further questions for Larry? All right. Mike?
I don't have anything other than to say we've ordered the playground for the 16th Street, and 6 to 8 weeks for delivery on that playground. So within the next 2 months, we should have it.
All right, Kevin?
We're in our trial now, it's Environmental Associates of Louisiana are on site. They probably got help, spike our tomorrow. Measurements today. It's another, I think it's another bonus for the city to give, you know, help in the farm we can. It just no works.
Keep finding them free samples.
Yeah. Appreciate you finding those guys, Kevin. It's,
Yeah.
good. We just, if there's a lot of them out there, we just keep.
Yeah.
Actually, the sludge testing today showed us that the last bunch that did the work, we actually got a little more than we thought. It worked longer than our anticipations. We actually blew more sludge on that trial than we thought we would.
We're good.
So we're spraying and running, you know, so
Right.
standard run and doing our thing.
Any further questions for Kevin?
Thank
All
you,
right,
Kevin.
city engineer.
Yes, sir. Just a quick update on the boat ramp. Talked to the contractor several times over the last couple of weeks, just kind of the lack of progress, kind of concerning with the good weather we've had. But they tell me that I'm worrying too much and that they're gonna finish on time and everything's fine. So, they put in a couple of timber piles today. They're supposed to really gear up on that this week and also Thursday. Today, they got the first load of sheet piles delivered. Thursday, they're gonna start installing sheet piles. So they tell me it's gonna drastically change. I told them they'd be in a leak. So we'll keep an eye out. That's all I have.
Just
for you.
keep an eye out, Clay, because, my phone rings every day with people with the same concern you've got, Clay, and I have, so I appreciate you staying on top of
We
it.
will.
Keep working.
That's it?
Yes, sir. That was it.
All right. Thanks, Brian. Attorney enforcement. Everybody has a copy of. Everybody getting emails with me. Police department.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a couple of quick updates. About 6 months ago, we brought 10 young people in and introduced them as our Fort St. Joe Police Department cadet unit. As you know, these young folks aged from 13 to 17, they're learning about law enforcement and public safety. And the first year of this program was funded on a grant from the DuPont Foundation. Today, we just came from the Tapper Foundation where they awarded us a grant to fund the second year. So we want to give you that update. So year 2's funded next year, and we appreciate them doing that. We have board members here that are on that board, and I appreciate your help to make that happen. One other thing I want to update you on is we're having Fort St. Joe Police Department Public Safety Day on June 24th. It's a Saturday, from 10 to 2. It's going to be in the parking lot surrounding First Baptist Church. And my hope is to get as many public safety partners as we can there, so kids can come check out their vehicles, whatever they want to bring. And right now, we've got 15 police departments that are committed to coming, 4 sheriff's offices. I met with Sheriff Tommy Ford today. He's sending his bomb squad unit and 2 motorcycles. Shands Care is sending their light flight helicopter. I do have to let you know, it's orange and blue and got a big gator on the side. But they've committed to coming, the Coast Guard's bringing a boat. We have probably almost 50 different agencies committed to coming right now. So we want to make that a big day for our community. Leon County Sheriff's Office is coming. We've got folks coming from a good distance. So
we'll start advertising that. If any of you guys want to be involved in any way, we'll be glad to. put you up.
Is there anything, I know that we don't budget for some of this type of stuff, but I'm telling you, this is right up my alley with what I appreciate, as always, that you do. Are you gonna be cooking for all these people or doing any, is there anything that this board can do to help you?
We haven't ironed all that out. Pastor Boyd Evans from the First Baptist Church, wants to do something on the hospitality end. He's gonna get with me in the next few weeks about that. I don't know what that's gonna be. Centennial Bank's gonna put up their tent and give out bottled water. It's gonna be hot. It's from 10 to 2, so it's in the middle of the day in June, so it's gonna be hot. They're gonna give out bottled water, so.
Guys, you know, this is a little bit out of the norm, but, if it would be okay with this board, I would like to, that's okay. It's not on the agenda, but, I'd like, let's okay to give Matt some money for, maybe to help with this thing, just for that day. And if we need to, guys, we can take it out of, Mike can find us some money, or either we can take some money out of VP.
We can certainly
Before
review
I
it.
make a motion on that, I would just like to hear from the board members to see if they're in agreement with me on that.
I completely agree. I mean, that motivates me. I mean,
It does me too. I got goosebumps just thinking about,
I'll be there. I'll help.
I will
Wherever
too.
I can.
me
And
too.
I don't know necessarily that we need any money. And all of these police departments, police chiefs, and sheriffs I've talked to, I mean, they understand, they're sending someone if they don't come from their agency, they're gonna have to pay that person, but everything that goes on there that day, I want to be free. It's
And
no
I do
charge.
too, and that's the thing, and I think if you're gonna bring this many people from out of town, and they're spending their taxpayer money to bring there, then if there's something we can do to at least help feed these people, I'm talking about people that's coming from out of town. Whether you need it or you don't need it, I'd just like to, maybe go ahead and let's say, okay, give Jim the opportunity to, stroke you a check if you need to, up to a certain amount.
But if y'all wanna think about that, and then we got some time, get back with me.
I buy it.
We got time.
Yeah.
Do we have any time?
We got just over 2 months.
Well,
so.
just do this, come back to us if you need some help, because I'm completely on board and I appreciate you.
Yeah, and I think the church is gonna do some stuff. We've got some other organizations that have stepped up. I mean, our local health department's gonna be there. Our emergency operations center setting up their command post. There's gonna be a lot of different stuff going on, so.
Just let us know, man.
Okay. Any other questions for me?
Thank you. Thank you.
City clerk,
I don't have anything, sir.
any citizens wish to be heard? Come on up.
Just a couple of announcements with anything. On the 22nd, this Saturday coming, Gateway representatives are coming to Philadelphia Community Baptist Church at 11 o'clock on time. And the Pace Foundation, we're asking them to come and give a seminar based upon some of the questions that arise about the apartments, the affordable entries, how the applications are, what they are. I tried to send some applications out, the questionnaire for the application, but some of them was 20 pages long, so, but we did try to send some of them out and hope that they were shared. But we're hoping that we have a question and answer period, so that not only the people that are requesting those apartments, but our city also will know whether this is fair game. Because what they presented to the city and to the county at first about what it would be like to move to, it has changed drastically. And so I think we need to just question it just to see, if we can do anything to make it easier or affordable for those that can't get in. The other one is, I made a mistake, I think, with the reporting of the blight pickup for the housing, and I told my committee that we would start probably sometime this week or next week. And I wanted to get your approval, Jim, or the city's approval. We're trying to get also some of the blight not blight, but the amnesty pick up with that, if possible, because we haven't had an amnesty that pick up in almost a year. And like I said, again, when I was with the garbage company, we made sure that it was twice a year for City of Port St. Joe. So I'm saying, if we got a 3 loads somewhere, we can throw some of that stuff in that would help us out citywide. Maybe we can do that with the blight cleanup when they start to drop in those houses. I just don't have a date. I gave them a week saying it'll be this week or next week, and I think I might have been wrong, so I want to correct that so I can report Saturday.
What we got, Mr. Davis, now is we actually have a secondary company that actually we take into most of our roll-offs and those kind of things too. Because Waste Pro, with the tipping fees of $51.50 a ton on there, what we've actually got another company that picks it up actually a little bit cheaper for us than what we have there. With that amnesty day that we have now, is strictly for paints, tires, those kind of things that's got to be carried out there to them. So what we have to do is we'd have to find some money that if we're going to have those type of amnesty days, we got to figure out how much money extra to, because right now things that are roadside pickups we charge for those things.
Okay. Well, I was looking for a date that I can give to my constituents, because I told them that we wanted to try to get when they move some of that lighter stuff. But now that you're changing companies, you got to come back with a different report. Any date that I can give?
Well, with Waste Pro, they only give us one a day for the contract on there. We had one about 6 months ago on that one with that new contract, and that one we actually had to carry out to the transfer station. So what we'd have to do is we'd have to get the board to figure out how much money that we would want to allot towards picking that up without charging tipping fees for it. So we'd have to figure out. So
Well, the other question would be then, the county said they had room for burn, some of the material that can be burned. Is that still on?
we have turned in everything for the 3 houses to be taken down. I have not heard anything back, but I did get everything back to Mr. Novak this year. And I did contact Mr. Quinn.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chester, appreciate you. And,
But, Mr. Davis, there is also, so you know, on Reed Avenue, Royal American has an office there now. They're close to First Street. So Royal American does have people on site now, if you want to meet with them, from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Did you know where their office was? Where is it at?
It's right on First Street, straight down from your office, actually.
Close to your place.
They just said, first they wanted to deny the meeting, they had an offer, but you can't get that many people in to get straight statements. If we can do it where the public is there to hear, we all know at the same time.
Pace Foundation will be doing some walkthroughs up there too, I think.
Right. The walkthrough will be after after our meeting. Now, the only difference is this right here. David Bond, he passed away this week, and his funeral is at 1 o'clock. So that's kind of going to infringe upon what we're trying to do. I talked with her earlier today and told her that some of us will probably have to do it later after the funeral, because he is a native resident of this area. So if we have a funeral, that's going to impact that time.
All right. Anyone else from the public? Anyone else?
I just have a question, and I don't think nobody can answer it for me clearly. My name is Lisa Matthews, 12 Everett Ave. I wanted to know what qualifies a home or property as a blighted, and how does one get that property house on the list, or is it so many per year?
What we do, Ms. Leith, is right now, anybody that would like to be on that list, what we do is ask them to come and request that on. There's no guarantee that we can get the money. What we do is we start a list. We still have about 10 of properties that we still have on there, Ms. Leith. But we start that list on there, and what we do is, first thing is we got to have the permission from the landowner to say that they want it torn down. And then we like it because that shows where the community's working with us, and we don't have to go through code enforcement. It's a win-win situation for everybody. So all they need to do is, first thing is come and talk to Mr. Burkett on that. Because we got 3 on that list right now that we've got sent over that we're hoping our friends at the county will help us out and take care of.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? All Mr. Mizell?
Mayor, just, one little statement. We had a wonderful presentation this afternoon, George and Amelia Tapper, trust that I'm a trustee of. That foundation was started in 1986 by Mr. and Ms. Tapper, and, thank goodness, David and Trish have continued that philanthropy that their mother and dad passed down to them. We give away right at $70,000 a year to different charitable organizations in the city. This year, a couple of them, Christian Community Development Fund down in Burkett, the Cadet Program, Humane Society, the college. That's all I'm thinking about. Yeah, some of the churches. And so, I just want to say thank you to David and Trish. Northwest Florida was good to Mr. and Ms. Tapper, and they always believed in giving back, and they're doing that. I've been on the board for about 10 years, so that equates to about $700,000 given back in the community during that time. They focus on Gulf and Franklin County, and of course the college. Mr. Tapper, a lot of people probably don't know when Mr. Tapper was in the legislature in 1986, he introduced legislation to start the junior college program in the state of Florida. And you know what it's grown to now. Everybody can commute to a place of higher learning if they want to, thanks to him. And so I'm real proud to be on that board and do a lot for this area. So if you see Dave and Trish, thank them for giving back, because they don't have to. That's all I got to do.
Ms. Lowry?
Just remember to go vote. That's all I got today.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. Over the last 2 weeks, I've been walking the streets of Fort St. Joe, and I know exactly why, after the last 2 weeks, why I live in the city of St. Joe, because I have talked to and met some of the finest people that I've ever met. And I just want to say that, and that's all I've got. Thank you.
All right. I just want to bring up one thing. And Jim, tell me this. On our building, where our water customers are,
Yes.
by the time we get the 20th where they got to be cut off,
Yes.
they're actually on that third month of water usage.
It would actually be,
Through with two.
it would be 2 months, yes, sir. And what you've got is they're 2 months, they would, if you cut somebody off, they would be 2 months behind, and then you would actually, because you're in the middle of it, so there's some that hadn't been billed yet, so, yes.
One of the bills would go out and the cutoff was 10. They have situations in, maybe as far as us losing money. It seems like, what we're saying is we're losing money because people get 3 months down the road and they just move to another house and take that water bill and they cut water on in somebody else's name, so.
Yep, there's a couple things you could do, Mayor, if you wanted to on there. You could tighten it up a little bit. The way the code is set up on there, it says that you're subject to cut off after the 21st on there. If y'all were to tighten it up and say, you will be cut off after the 21st, what we can do is we can set the parameters in the utility billing that you would set that parameter for 1 day or 20 days or 50 days after that 21st on there. So if you set it to 1 day, what it would do is it would cut it back to people that only have 1 month's outstanding. It would cut it off 30 days faster. So board's wishes, we can do it. It's just up to the board what you feel comfortable with.
So what do we have to do, change the ordinance?
Yes. Because right now what you got is your ordinance in there. It says you're subject to it, and then it says if you contact City Hall, then you won't be cut. If you just tighten that up, if it's the wish of the board, we can draft something to tighten that up for you.
But we just, not we, but this board just passed to go up on the deposits. This has been something that I would have voted for prior to that, but I'd be against it now that, we've already, we're shooting shooting the people in the foot twice, in my opinion, now, if we do it. Now, not that I'm in disagreement with you, I'm in complete agreement with you, but that's why I voted no.
Me too.
Thank you.
Anyway.
Mayor, can you you mind putting a copy of that ordinance?
Yes, I'll put a copy of the post.
All the boxes, I guess, cause it, and
I'll do
look at it and see, if there's something we wanna do.
I just encourage, Jim, do we need to do anything, 2 or 3 of us meet out there at 11 o'clock, we need to announce that?
What I'll do is I'll make sure, Mr. Davis, you said it was gonna be held at the Primitive Baptist Church instead of actually at the WIC building?
261 Avenue D.
261 Avenue D. I'll get it posted, that way it won't be
No,
questions.
good, thank you.
And, I encourage everybody can come up and hear what the Patience Foundation is talking about. Let's look at their applications and see if, I don't know, they told us to start with, it wouldn't be easy, I thought that would even be quite this hard. So, that's all I have, I have any motion to adjourn.
So moved.